What's up, guys? Ronin Man here. I'm here in downtown Bangkok watching these kids play soccer, football. I grew up doing this, so it's fun to watch these kids. The one kid is quite good, the guy in the white shirt. He's pretty badass with his ball control. It's fun to watch. He's got the other kid going most of the time. The other kid gets it sometimes. But yeah, it's fun stuff. Reminds me of being a kid. Alright, so today we're here, I'm here in the area which is basically like, when you think of Thailand, you think of sin, den of iniquity, basically that's where I am right now. So I'm gonna walk down the street here. Anybody who knows me, you guys know this is not my thing, but I gotta say this, I do like to live near the action. I like to live in areas where shit's going on, right? I like when there's like, I like excitement, I hate boring. I don't like family-friendly areas, at all. I don't want to be in a family-friendly area ever. I have no interest, I don't have a family. I don't want a family, and family-friendly areas are very boring. Unless they're my family, like my friend, my brother or sister's kids. I love kids, and in that case, I'm going to be totally into it. But like, if I don't know anybody, it's just like a boring family place, I can't deal with it. So I'm going to walk down here, and you guys will see some interesting stuff. I don't want to talk about some topic that's very, very close to my heart, and that is why I think that MGTOW, or most MGTOW, should move abroad. We're looking down Soi 4 right now. This is where the action starts right here. It's pretty exciting. It's I don't know what it is, about 6 o'clock right now. So it's basically like happening like all the time, this area. Even in the daytime, nighttime, it doesn't matter. It's always happening. But why MGTOW should move abroad, right? Well, the thing is a lot of the things that we talk about, right? A lot of the things that suck in the West, like patriarchy and patriarchy theory and feminism and like, fucking laws and all kinds of stuff that just drives you insane, right? When you go overseas, you don't have that, right? Life is different overseas, man. I mean, you're gonna see here, it's a lot more freewheeling, I like freewheeling shit, man. I don't like laws. I don't like people telling me what to do. I'm not into that shit. And I'm not judgmental, so I don't give a fuck what other people do, It's like totally fine. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't care that much. And I like to see here's some great fruit. So cheap, 50 baht. It's like $1.20. $1.20 for jackfruit, which is an expensive fruit in most countries. So here we are walking down the street here, and you can see they got a lot of food. A lot of action, dudes selling Viagra and shit like that, and just all kinds of crazy stuff. You're gonna see some madness down here. So we're just starting to get to the first club here, and start to see what's going on here. Very beginning, good food, a lot of good food around here. So you're never shortage of food. Hey. Oh, hey, okay. Good food here, yeah. Everybody's very friendly, you can see. People are like friendly. People are saying hi. Like I pull out the camera and I start filming, and all of a sudden everybody's friendly in Thailand. It's amazing. This is Nana Plaza, which is like one of the most happening areas in all of Bangkok. I'm not gonna go in there because you basically can't film in there. They're gonna get pissed off. Let's see here, what's going on here. Little thing, there's a Hooters there. Hooters. We're looking at Hillary 4 here. There's like Hillary 1, Hillary 2, Hillary 3. There's like Hillary 1, Hillary 2, Hillary 3, Hillary 4. People like to have a good time here. There's always shit going on. That's what I love about Bangkok, Like I said, even if you're not into like the whole scene, it's fun, it's fun. It's like interesting, to watch it. It's almost like a play or something for me. It's like a musical, or it's like, it's a drama that's always going on. There's all kinds of stuff going on here all the time. It's really early, so there's nothing going on really yet. Come back at 1 o'clock. If you guys like this video, I'll come back at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, this place is insane. Seriously, the place is totally on fire. Hey, oh, sorry. Yeah, she didn't like to be filmed there. Yeah, these are the massage girls, so they A lot of them have regular jobs and regular families, so they don't want to be filmed. Yeah, so here we are on Soy 4. Why did I move overseas? What's been my experience? Why I think other MGTOWs should move overseas, right? Moving overseas is one of the fucking best things you can ever do. It's like, I don't know, man, like for me, like a lot of growing up and changing my life is it's like improving myself, and a lot of the improving myself is breaking off from the norm. So whatever the average guy is doing is I'm trying to break off from that and do something new, do something that I want to do. So maybe I have like an old self-image that I'm a certain kind of person, I do this kind of job or some shit, and then I say, you know what, I want to change that. I don't want to do this anymore. You know, I want to do this new thing. I want to start a business, or I want to, you know, whatever it is. Like you can see there's all kinds of stuff going on over there, and like I said, it's totally insane. There's like 5 billion more people here in another 4 or 5 hours. So I wanted to come now because it's not too noisy, so maybe the video is easier to listen to. You know, I came over here to Asia the first time, and I walked down these streets and I looked at this action, and I was like, fuck, you know, it was like freedom, man. It's like just shit's just going on here, you know? It's like getting free, man. Like everybody's just fucking cruising around, you know, like, you know, insanity, fucking, you know, people are like easygoing. Hey. People are easygoing, you know. There's a lot of like funny things. Like you get a good chuckle overseas a lot more than you do back home. You know, you see people laughing here, you see people like smiling, you know, having a good time, a lot more than you do back home. You know, back home, fuck, people are serious, man. They're grinding it out, trying to pay the bills, you know. You know, here you can live so cheap that, you know, like most of these guys that we're looking at here, I mean, they probably live on like definitely less than $200 a month, right? So they're just like trying to make ends meet. They're trying to sell some vegetables. You got these construction guys. They get very little. They make very, very little. They probably make $100 a month. But they live here in Bangkok, right? In downtown Bangkok, right? Where everything's going on. Right? It's a happening place. A lot of energy here, man. Energy, I think if you're thinking about moving overseas or, you know, trying something new, I think energy is the key thing. You know, you don't want to go to the outback, you know. There's a bunch of clubs down there, tons of girly bars down there. And we're just kind of cruising down Soy 4 here. There's some good food there. Lots of good food on this road. Tons of good cheap food. A good meal here on this road costs you about maybe $5 for a good meal. And you know, that's like a good healthy meal too. That's not like a shitty, that's a homemade meal, you know. That's like real food, you know. Fruit, vegetables, meat, you know, chicken, fucking fish, you know, coconut. Here's fresh coconut, that costs you about $1.50. And all kinds of other fruit. There's all kinds of tasty fruit here. Fruit is insane. The watermelon costs you about 18 baht, so 50 cents. 50 cents for a bag of watermelon. And there's pizza here, so if you want like, you know, like North American stuff, you can have real pizza. This is like, that's New York pizza, man. That's a fucking good place, actually. You got no complaints about the pizza there. You get it by the slice, no problem. And they got Indian food, like that Indian place there has good masala tea. If you've never had masala tea, it's fucking awesome. Super tasty, yeah. So like living overseas, man, it's like, I don't know, you know, like you can choose where you want to live is one thing. Like probably where you live now, it's like, you didn't really choose it, right? Hey, okay, my friends. Thank you. Come back. Okay. Yeah, they're very, very friendly there, yeah. So it's sad because the girls are so friendly, but I really don't like these kind of where you pay the girls to go and talk to them. It's like, so they're kind of wasting their breath on me, but that's okay. You know, I'm friendly anyway. And in the end, in Thailand, if you're friendly, they're pretty happy. They really are. They're not like too money grubbing. They're having a good time. They're laughing. As long as you have a good attitude and you don't put people down, you know, people are pretty cool. So I think that's the one thing is when you go overseas, you know, it's not just going overseas, right? It's like you're choosing where you want to live. and you're looking at the world as almost like your oyster, you know? It's like you got Tokyo, right? You got Tokyo girls, Japanese girls, you got Japanese food, you know, you got Bangkok, you got Hong Kong, you got Shanghai, Beijing, you got Sweden, you got London. You know, you can really choose where you want to live. You don't, so living overseas, like I recommend traveling. You know, for myself, before I moved overseas, what I did was I traveled around the world. So I spent 13 months going around the world. I saved up some money. I was quite young. I was 25, I was 23, and I went around the world for 13 months. Lived in many countries, and that was good for me, because what that was good for me is because I didn't really know what I wanted. I didn't know what the world had to offer. So the one thing I'd say advice is, if you're gonna move overseas, is don't think you know everything. Don't make like a big decision like, I know that I want to live in this one place, like no matter what. I know, you know, even though you've never been there, right? It's like you have this fantasy that you know, a certain place is going to make you happy. I think what you want to do is, if you are going to move overseas, what you want to do is you want to explore first. You know, spend some time, check it out. You know, because what I find here in Thailand is great. I love it here. It's cheap. People are friendly. The visa's easy. You know, no hassles. The weather's nice every day. This is like every day, you guys. It's like this every day. So, you know, like I don't even have a jacket. I don't have a pair of pants. I just have shorts. I don't have any pants, you know. I don't need pants. The only reason why I have a pair of jeans because I was forced to buy them to go to a club with a friend of mine. So, and then also if I go to like a Thai shrine, I need to have a pair of pants. So that's the only reason why I have one pair of jeans. But that's it, man. I don't need any kind of special clothes. You know, like think about your fucking life. Like whenever you start thinking about making big changes in life, like think about a lot of things from a new perspective, right? Like, are you wearing, like right now, are you wearing the clothes you want to wear? You know, are you driving? Are you doing what you want to do? Is your life the way you want? You know what I mean? Like as far as sex, as far as clothes, as far as schedule, waking up in the morning, you know, as far as friends, as far as freedom, as far as eating, you know, as far as everything. You know, is your life the way you want? Because if your life is not the way you want, then one of the best things you can do is move overseas. I swear to God, it's the best way, because there's only a few ways. Like most change is bullshit, okay? Most Tony Robbins type of things are bullshit. They're not real. So, you know, they'll say, oh, you can change, or, you know, buy this pill, or, you know, read this book, and you're gonna change your life. It's usually not true. If you want to change your life, there's only a few ways to really change your life that I found that really work. If you guys have any ideas of things that you know that change your life, what I found is one of them is my friends that have a baby. That changes their life forever. Like definitely causes all kinds of new neurons and new things to happen. I don't want to have a baby. I'm not talking about having a baby. I'm just saying, like, if you want something that's really going to change your life, cause some new things to happen, babies are one of them. Another one of them is moving overseas. Moving overseas, no matter how much you try to be the same, you can't be the same. Like if I tried to act like I did back home, right? Let's say I tried to be, let's say I was a little bit shy, right? And I tried to be shy here. Like, how could I be fucking shy in Thailand? Like, I have to go talk to people every day, right? And people say hi to me all the time, and I like meet people. You're like, how could I be shy? That basically, you throw your shyness out the fucking window right away, right? So, okay, let's say that I am angry, right? I'm angry at the patriarchy or something, right? It's like, how could I be angry here? Like, it's completely different here. There's almost no feminism. It's just like a completely different scene here. And, you know, one of the best ways you can do to change is like, I guess what I'm saying is don't do fake change. A lot of people, they waste their life just talking shit. They want to do stuff and they never do it, right? I don't think you should do that. I think that you should think about what you want to do. Think deeply, you know, about where you are. Are you living the life you want to live? Are you, you know, because the change part is actually easier than you think. The hard part is deciding, right? Deciding what you want to do with your life. We're going to be on this big road for a little bit, and then we'll be on a cool little trail I'll take you on. You know, so the big thing is deciding, right? So, you know, are you happy with your life? Are you living the life you want to live? If you're divorced and you're looking for change, oh man, moving abroad is like one of the best things. I'm coming by a junkyard. There used to be a fucking dog here that drove me crazy. But he's not there anymore, thank God. That dog, man, he used to chase me. I swear, I love dogs, but this dog was scary. Full junkyard dog. He was scary dog. And like I say, I freaking love dogs. But yeah, so like, you know, the change, what do you want to do? Like, you know, take life by the fucking reins. Like, what do you want to do? Like, for me, I realized that, like, having fun and living an interesting life was more important to me than making a ton of money. Now, you can make a ton of money overseas, but if I was going to put it into a, you know, like make the tough choices, right? So I decided that I cared more about having fun, more about improving my life than I did about amassing goods, right? Goods just don't mean that much to me, right? And so freedom means a lot more to me, right? And living overseas, you know, like if I ever get tired of Thailand, I can just go over somewhere else, you know? Go over to fucking Japan, back to Japan, or go back to China, or go to Cambodia, or move to the Philippines, or, you know, go back to Sweden. I lived in Sweden before, you know, go somewhere else, right? Or go back to India. I spent some time in India. I love India. India is a fabulous country. You know, it's a fabulous, huge country. India is like as huge as America. It's a massive place. And there's so many cool things you can do there, man. I had such a great time. I'm a huge fan of India. We're just catching the end of sun. We're catching sunset, so we're going to go up above. We'll be able to see a better view in a few seconds. This is kind of a dismal little road here, but it doesn't last very long. But yeah, so, you know, I mean, I guess you make sacrifices when you move overseas, right? You know, and you're probably scared, right? You're probably like, oh, what am I going to do for work? You know, how am I going to earn money? You know, where am I going to go? There's probably a lot of like, you're scared, right? You're like, how is this going to work out? You know, and a lot of fear, right? But don't worry about that. Just pack that away in the back of your brain and just think about it one step at a time. Like, are you happy with your life? You know, because you don't have to stay. Just because you're from one country, that doesn't mean you have to stay there. And also, you're not a fucking traitor. Just because you travel overseas and you move to a new place, you're not a fucking traitor. You're not a fucking, you know what I mean? You're not like you're not like bad to Canada, or, you know, you're not American or something. Don't let anybody lay this shit on you. You know, in your life, you're going to make a lot of tough choices. You're going to move, you're going to try things. And, you know, like, don't let anybody try to change. When I first went to China was in 1989. And I was trying to get there for the Tiananmen Square massacre because I wanted to fight with the students, but fight together with the students. And so I got there, or when I finally was getting close to China, I took the Trans-Siberian Railroad to get there from Europe, and Tiananmen Square was already over. You know, the students were shot, it was all over. And people told me, like, don't go to China. And I was like, why not? They're like, because the government, you know, don't support the evil government. And like, they were giving me this kind of advice about what to do with my fucking life, right? This is a cool, I love this trail up here. It's so fucking nice up here. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful city, you know? Look at this sunset. This is like pretty much every day, really. Every day. If I take this walk home every day, it's like the same, you know? And okay, so let's see, where was I? So yeah, so let's go back into it. We're gonna do an interview. I'm gonna do an interview maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, very soon. We're gonna talk about ways that you can make money overseas. But today we're just talking about why and how you feel about it. So your basic, you know, where do you start from? What are you gonna do? And your mental state more than anything. Not the actual action that you would take. you know. So for me, like, what have I found overseas? Like, what would have been beneficial? Like, I've talked about it before. What part of it was like sleeping with a lot of hot young girls who I found attractive, and that was like something that was very, very awesome. And it was something that I don't think I would have had the opportunity that I had overseas if I stayed in my hometown. Partly because my hometown is not very big. You know, there's a lot of reasons, but one of them is that there's not enough girls, you know what I mean? Like, there's not enough girls to do what I wanted to do. And I just felt hemmed in, you know? I felt like fucking, you know, you look at like the adventurers, you know, that go do things in this fucking world, right? And I was like, you know, I'm one of these guys. Like, I want to do that, man. You know, this is back in the 80s, right? I'm like, fuck, I want to see the world, man. I want to go, man. I want to see. I want to fuck the bitches. I want to have fun. I want to fucking climb the mountain, right? I want to be in exciting situations, right? I want to explore. I want to wring the fucking juice out of life, you know? That was basically my simple motivation for going overseas. Was this kind of feeling of like, I want more, you know? I just want more. I want more excitement. And so then I started studying and reading about it and deciding where I should go. And like I said, I tried a lot of countries, you know, short term, and kind of I felt my way around. It cost me to go around the world. It costs you less than $2,000 a month today. It cost me $1,000, but it's still less than $2,000, including everything: trains, planes, automobiles, visas, food, hospitals, you know, every sunscreen, every fucking thing you can think of. $2,000 a month max. You can travel the world, go around the world. So 6 months, 12 grand, you're gonna be fucking leftover money after that. So you can see a lot more than you think for a lot cheaper than you think, right? So how do you go overseas? The first thing you do is you think that you want more, and you're just gonna fucking do it, right? There's certain things in life that if you think about them too much, then nothing good is gonna happen, you know? Like if you really do want a baby, right? You just can't think about it too much. All you do is you fucking drive your dick in the girl and blow your wad in there, and then, you know, just see what happens next, right? That's basically the way you get a baby, right? And the way that you travel is not by knowing that much. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna know. You'll probably know more than I did, because when I came here, it was before the internet, and there was nothing to know. Like, there was no information anywhere. You know, when I started traveling, fuck, there was no information. All I had was one yellow book, Southeast Asia on the shoe screen. That was all I had. And I just started reading this book and like trying to figure out places to stay and what I wanted to do, you know. So today you got the internet. So you're not like, you don't need any information. So do you need is there something you're missing that you can't do? You know, that you're missing, that you just, oh, if I didn't have this, I'm fucked, right? No, you got all the information you need. Okay, let's see what's next. What else do you need? You need a couple grand a month, and that's a lot of money, by the way. Like 2,000, if you have $2,000 a month, you're basically got more money than you need to do any kind of traveling or any kind of whatever you want to do. Like if you want to climb mountains, if you want to fucking fly out of airplanes, you know, if you want to take camel safaris, you know, all this shit I've done. And it's easy and it's cheap, and around the world, everything's cheap overseas, like pretty much. You can always find, because you're a free man, right? You just fucking cruise around and you see what's cheap and do it, right? Go to Peru, fucking have a killer barbecue that would cost you $100 back home, and it costs you like $10 or $5, you know, overseas, right? So, you know, just basically get some money together and make a decision. You know, what do you got to lose, really, you know? I mean, like, I love Thailand. Like, look at this house here. This is a very traditional Thai house here. You can see the wood. I don't know if it's teak wood. I kind of don't think it is. It might be, though. But it's a lovely house. And you can see they're very comfortable. They don't need any air conditioning. These traditional Thai houses, you can see down the living room has no walls, right? Can you see that down there? Yeah, so it's like basically they're living outside, and then they go upstairs and then they sleep in the inside, but they open the windows and all that. So it's very comfortable. You know, that's the other thing. Like some countries like don't cost much money to live in because it's just that life is easy. You know, like in Thailand, like I said, you don't need any fucking jackets. You don't need any fucking pants. You know, all this stuff costs money, you know, to buy and store and maintain and, you know, carry around with you and shit like that. You know, when you're in a country like Thailand, fuck, all you need is a fucking t-shirt and a pair of shorts and, you know, some decent sandals and you're basically fine. Come over here, buy a new shirt, it's $3. For a fucking nice t-shirt, it's 100 baht. You can get a nice collared shirt and just start traveling, you know. And if you got money, if you got a bunch of money, I think that everything I'm saying is kind of the same. The reason is because a lot of people, when they have money, it kind of messes them up in a way, because what they do is, you know, I've had money before, and what happens is you start to think that you're, I don't know what it is, like, I don't know, that you shouldn't do these simple things. You should do something more exciting or something bigger, or you shouldn't stay in this little place. But I think that what happens when you get money and you travel, the problem with having money, one of the biggest problems is that you are detached from human beings sometimes. So if you're in a 5-star hotel, you don't meet many people, you know. Whereas when you're on the road and you're meeting a lot, you're staying in like the smaller, cheap places for $5, $10 a night. You're having to meet people all the time. You're having to negotiate. You're having to fucking catch taxis. You're having to negotiate with taxi drivers. You're having to, you know, change money, and you're having to interact with a lot of human beings. And I recommend that, even if you have money. And if you do have money, if you do have a lot of money, I still recommend going cheap. And I also recommend not letting anybody else know that you have money. So wear cheap clothes. Don't wear a fucking expensive watch. You know, keep it low down. Keep it low down. Don't be giving away, you know, like I said in the black box episode, right? You know, you want to keep it low down. Make it look like you don't have any money. You know, make it look like you're just a traveler. You know, because when you have money, it opens you up to things like getting robbed. You know, just shit happens. Shit. You want people to think that you just have enough money to pay them what you need to pay them, whatever it is. You know, for the hotel, for the hospital, whatever it is that you're doing, you got enough money to cover that, no problem. And then the rest they don't know about, right? That's all you want. That's it. That's your basic MO, right? Is I got enough money for whatever we need today. You know, we need an apartment. Okay, I got enough money for that. You know, we need to buy some shoes. Okay, I'll buy some shoes. You know, no bragging, no talking about anything else. Just simple things, one at a time. You know, what do you need? And truth is, MGTOWs don't need that much stuff. You know, the more stuff I've had in my life, it just ends up being a fucking noose around my neck. You know, it really does. It really is. The less shit and the more simple my life is, the more I meet people, the more I travel, the more I am free. One of the easiest ways not to be free is to have a lot of stuff. You know, because then you got like things like contracts, you got fucking just all these kind of like restrictions and bullshit. You have to pay this bill and that bill, and you got to be here for this and that. You know, that's why I'm going to talk about in the future. I'll talk about cryptocurrencies, because cryptocurrencies allow you to be pretty damn free. You know, so there's a lot of things you can do, and I'll talk about different things as we go along. If you guys are interested, I don't know if you guys are, but you know, this is my life. I've been over here. I've been in Asia, like I said, since the 80s. And, you know, I go to different countries. I don't work. I don't wake up in the morning. I don't use an alarm clock. Like, I don't have an alarm clock. You know, I basically just wake up when I wake up, you know, have some coffee, you know, check my email, think about what I want to do. If I want to make a Ronin Man episode or work on my other stuff, my online stuff, you know, I can do that, see a friend. If I want to go and, you know, try writing some new stuff or brainstorming or whatever, you know, I do that. And if I want to go explore a new part of town, or I go do that, right? But basically, I'm free as a bird. And this is, to me, the biggest reason to go overseas. Because, like, you can live in Thailand easily for $1,000 a month. Easily. I mean, there are guys here doing it for $500. Literally, there's like guys doing it, guys living in Thailand for $500 a month. And I don't know how they do it, but I know there's a ton of guys that are not from Thailand, you know, from other countries, UK, US, doing it here. But let's just say $1,000 a month is a fair amount. It doesn't cost, you know, it's not a lot of money, tiny amount of money, and you can have a good free life. How the fuck could you do that in California? How the fuck could you do that in London? There's just no way, right? There's no way you could do that. It's way too expensive, you know? It's way too expensive. So, you know, you don't want to, if you want to be free and you want to have a good life, I would say you want to break away from social things, you know, like social, whatever's tying you down, whatever's holding you down. Then you want to check out the world and find out what's available, because you might not know what's available. You want to know more about the world, because a lot of things you think you know are not actually true. And the things that you actually care about might be different, right? And the longer you spend overseas, you actually change, you know, your thinking changes, your mind changes. And so when that happens, you want different things. So you want to keep yourself open and listening to your body, listening to your mind and yourself changing, you know, so that if you realize, you know, you value something else more, you know, you can do that, and you're not stuck in one mode, right? So, like, you know, there's so many ways to live overseas, you know, like, for example, I don't know, we're going to talk about this in the episode about making money abroad, but you make your money, you know, but there's just a shit ton of ways to do it, you know. It's not something to be afraid of, you know. Fuck, I mean, I just met a guy the other day, and he teaches English in China by Skype, and he gets $30 an hour, and he lives here on $700 a month. So what is that, 21, 22, 24 hours a week, a month or something like that, he has to teach English. And he said that it's fun, and it's all kids, and the kids are cool, and he has a good time. So 24 hours a month he has to teach. He had 24 hours a month he has to talk on Skype to some kids who love him and joke around and talk about red and white and blue and 1, 2, 3, you know, hey kitty, and simple things like that. And then he fucking gets his $30 sent to his bank account, and he goes on, you know, and lives here for $700 a month. So, you know, there's that kind of option. There's businesses here. A lot of guys start businesses here. A lot of guys do long distance stuff. So, for example, programming. Other guys have their own websites here, and they're doing like YouTube videos and getting enough money to live on that. That one's harder to do, but it pays off a lot if you can. Really is a great option if you can do it. Other guys work really hard. You know, they come overseas, they go to Japan, they work at a serious job, make, you know, a couple $100,000 a year, and then they come to Thailand for 6 months, take a break, you know, and so there's kind of unlimited ways to live overseas, you know. And if this is kind of sparking your fancy or getting you excited, you know, get you thinking about new things, pass them on, you know. Send me questions down below. I'm for real. I've done this stuff like for a long goddamn time, and I've tried a lot of different things, so I have a huge, very deep reservoir of ideas and friends. There's a beautiful view here. I have a very deep reservoir of ideas and friends for concepts that other people could do, and things that I've done, you know, over the years to make money. And you know, there's just so many things. Like, I'll just tell you one last thing, like the happy coincidences that happen when you're overseas. I was over having dinner, right, and there was a guy sitting next to me. I've seen the guy before because I go to this restaurant probably 2-3 times a week, and it's a beautiful park. You know, so I saw him, and he was sitting next to us. He looked friendly, so I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And it turns out the guy is like 54, from Singapore. Really friendly guy too. And we started talking about stuff, and I said, "Man, you know, you look so young, you know, for 54." And he's like, "Oh, you know, I use steroids and HGH, human growth hormone, HGH, you know." And I was like, "Oh, okay," because I don't take any of that stuff. And we had this really interesting discussion about steroids and HGH, you know, what the benefit is, what it's like to do. And we were just sitting there talking, like, because I'll tell you, there's something about when you're both an expat living away from all your friends and family, how it's easier to make friends than it is back home. You know, we just sat down like friends. We added each other online. We'll definitely meet up again. He told me all this kind of stuff. It was quite interesting for me, you know. It's something I've never ever thought about seriously doing, and I don't know if I will, but it was quite interesting to hear. Like, he told me which pharmacy to buy, you know, you could buy steroids at, which steroid, you know, where to get the HGH and how you use it and how often you have to take it. And fuck, it was a super interesting conversation actually. I was quite fascinated, you know. No idea, I doubt I'll do it, but it was one of these things, like, it's quite easy to make friends abroad. That's what I'm saying. And you get into way more interesting conversations than you do back home, you know. Back home, I mean, in my hometown, the conversations tend to be the same. You know, people don't move much. You know, it's kind of the same, right? You know, the conversation tends to be around local politics, you know, maybe Donald Trump, maybe taxes, maybe about some sports team, you know, that some sports team is doing well. For me, you know, overall, after being overseas this long, I look at sports the way they said on Seinfeld was, like when I left the US, I was a fan of the Lakers, right? You know, and back in like '87, right? And, you know, now the Lakers, there's not one player that used to be on the team when I left, right? There's not one member. There's not one fucking member. It was Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy, Michael Cooper. All these guys are gone. Every single one of them's gone. And there is, well, let's walk over here. There's an auditorium and it has a cool auditory sound actually. It's a natural design. It'll start echoing. I don't know if you can hear it on the speaker, but let's see. Let's check it out. And so, you know, you get into these like more interesting conversations than you do back home. And like, I don't know, I just find people overseas tend to read more books, tend to try new things more, tend to have more time, because there's more like MGTOW type of dudes here in Thailand than there is wherever you are, you know? There's just more guys who are doing more cool stuff. You know, you meet guys all the time who have their own, they have their own like online business, or they're authors or journalists, or they're with the government. You know, it's quite common to meet an interesting person in Thailand actually. It's just not uncommon to meet like a fucking super interesting person, you know, who just sold their business and they're doing something, they were doing something very cool. Or even somebody who's kind of famous, you know, who's like, you know, that's like a common thing here. It's very common to meet like a famous journalist or politician overseas. Whereas it's not so common back home, you know. Like I think of all the rock stars, everybody I've met, it's basically because I was overseas. You know, back in my hometown, I just don't think I would have, I don't think I would have met the same people. I don't think I would be the same person either. You know, like what I became because I was overseas, you know what I mean? The person that the reason why I'm Ronin Man now, the reason why I'm doing this podcast, you know, is because I have these experiences that are just a lot of unique experiences. And like, I don't think I would be the same person with the same open mind if I would have stayed in one place. I just don't think so. Beautiful sunset there. Look at that. Isn't that nice? One of my favorite things is to lay down in the grass and look at the sky. You know, I started doing, when I was a kid, I used to lay down in the grass and look at the sky, you know, and it was not so much, can you hear that? That's a lizard. That's a lizard making a weird sound. See if we can hear him better. When I was a kid, I used to lay down on the sand in the desert and look up in the sky, you know? And it was so cool, you know, like I'd look up in the sky and I'd start thinking about the stars. I'd think about how far away they are. And I remember thinking like, fuck, you know, it's like minus several hundred degrees out there. Like, why is it warm down here, you know? Like, why is it warm, you know? I was just like very curious, you know? Why is it warm if there's no glass ceiling or metal ceiling or something, you know? We're not in a refrigerator, you know? And I just had this like curiosity. I was thinking like, you look up at the atmosphere, it's just air, right? Why is it protecting us from a bazillion degrees minus zero, right? Year after year, day after day, here we are like trapped in the middle of this freezing cold space. And then why is it warm here? You know, as a kid, I used to think about this kind of stuff. And then today, you know, as a guy overseas and like a guy without a family, a guy who has a lot of free time, and I find myself doing a lot more of that kind of basic enjoyment of life. You know, like I find myself laying down in the grass a lot and just thinking, you know, and like I bring my friends too, you know. So I think that's one of the biggest things for me, you know, like why I like living overseas and why I like living in a place where there's not a lot of stress for money. So, because sometimes I have money, a lot of money, sometimes I don't. You know, like I've made some bad investments in the past. So I've gone up and down as far as my net worth. But as long as I stay in places that are reasonable, it's like I don't have any stress. And the thing is, I can continue being myself, because my number one goal is not to have a ton of money. My number one goal is to be free and to enjoy my life, you know. So that's something I can definitely do, you know. And I don't think my family understands it. I don't think they'll ever understand it. You know, they're gonna wonder why, you know, they'll say to me, like, somebody with this much talent, why are you not working in a company, or why are you not, you know what I mean? Why are you not doing something that people respect more? You know, that's the biggest challenge for me, is just to basically, you know, just to once again reevaluate my life and say, wait a second, this is what I want to do. This is what I freaking enjoy. Like, I'm not doing this for you. You know what I mean? I'm not living this life for you. You know? I'm living this life for me, man. And like for me, sitting here, it's like jungle here, man. Can you hear all the birds, and can you hear everything? There's like carnivorous lizards in here. There's tons of carnivorous lizards cruising around. I don't know where they are. Oh, that's right. As the sun sets, they tend to climb up in the trees and go to sleep. But like this beautiful view here, you know, like you can see there's not many people here. I'm in the middle of Bangkok on Friday night. Should be, you know what I mean? Like, and it costs nothing to walk in this park, you know? These are the kind of things I really like doing. These are the kind of things I really enjoy these days. And so that's what I found for myself as being some of the most enjoyable stuff. And you might find different things. And I've gone through different phases in my life where, you know, there's a turtle there. I get excited about working hard and starting a new business and stuff. But I think overall, more than like making money or like high pressure, I really like enjoying life and seeing life, you know, like seeing life, you know, like fucking noticing, you know, like all the little bugs in the water here, right? There's all these little bugs here, right? And then somewhere up there is the lizards, because they go up there to sleep, and just thinking about stuff, you know. That's what I like, you know. Breathing, the air is clean here, you know. The air is like super clean in this park, you know. I mean, you know, like, and then I'll be over here and some more action here pretty soon, you know. But right now I'm right here, you know. No one's calling me, no one's texting me telling me I have to do nothing. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not like running away, you know. I'm not like, you know, there's 8 people waiting to talk to me, you know. It's like, about the only thing I can think of right now that's not good is I had a really good friend who was supposed to come on August 7th to visit me, and he told me this morning he couldn't come. So I'm actually still a little bit bummed out about that. But besides that, things are great. And you know, I think that's the way life should be. I really do. You know, so I think that a lot of people think that if you live in the first world, okay, I'm going to say the first world, so like England, Australia, the United States, Canada, Japan, Singapore, that's the first world. Hong Kong, or if you live in the second or third world, a lot of people think that life is different, or that, I don't know, it's like somehow going to be scary or something, you know. And I remember when I first came to this park, when I moved to Thailand, actually, I came here right away because I got a place nearby, and I walked to the park. And as soon as I saw this park right downtown, I had been to this park years ago, but I wasn't gonna live here, so I kind of forgot about it. But when I actually, like, you know, moved here and I walked around this park, and I thought to myself, man, I made the right decision. You know, like there's a lot of nice parks in Bangkok, and when I saw that I could have this much freedom, this much green, you know, this much chance to kind of think and kind of consider things and breathe, man, breathe, you know. That was when I was like, oh, I made the right decision. I definitely made the right decision. you know. And then, like I said, like in the beginning of this video, it was like madness, right? The bars and everything, right? I didn't edit anything. I just walked. I walked from here to there, and I could have walked faster, but I'm making the video, so it was a little bit slow. But you know, so there's a lot in Bangkok and a lot of Asian cities. I recommend Asian cities. I think you should seriously consider a big Asian city for a lot of reasons. You know, I think one is they're reasonable prices wise. Also, there's a lot of good infrastructure here as far as like subways and trains and buses, and you know, they're used to having travelers. Like this city where I'm in right now, Bangkok, is the #1 tourist destination in the whole world. So everything is like easy. Everything is like decided, you know. Oh, there's a big lizard. There's a big lizard. I don't know if you can see him under the tree. Can you see that? Okay, we're gonna see this guy. Let's see if we can see this guy. You know, so because there's a lot of tourists that come here, and it's a fairly developed place, it's easy to live because you don't have to stress out about stuff. Okay, here comes the lizard. Here he is. Look at that. Check it out, man. Check it out. See that? See that? Huge carnivorous lizard. What's funny about Bangkok is so hilarious is they have these lizards, right? Now that lizard there would want to eat me if he was hungry, right? And the Thais feed these lizards. They're all over this park, by the way. They're everywhere. They like to go in these little tunnels here. Like that tunnel, can you see that little tunnel there? They live in there, that's the kind of thing they live in. But the Thais, like the American way would be to kill them all or take them all away. The Thais, they just let them be here. So you kind of have to just put up with them, like walk around them, make sure you don't step on one. There's the cats everywhere and dogs. There's a lot of there's a lot of happy cats, wild dogs here, you know. This cat is like very relaxed. He's very relaxed, this one. There's one cat I stop and pet all the time. One thing is nice in Bangkok is I don't want to own a pet so much. So what I do is I stop and feed the pets. So like I come by and I name them and stuff. I don't know this one here because I've never seen this one here, but you know, so there's like little things, like compromises I can do, you know, like because I don't have a standard life, right? I don't have like a family life, you know. I don't want to. I love cats, you know. I love kids. I love girls, but I don't want to have one. I don't want to own one. I just want to come around the world, enjoy them, see them, hang out with them, maybe feed them a bit, and then just move on, you know, like go see another one, you know, and not be committed and enjoy my life, you know. I think most people, they try to own too much shit, you know. They see a girl and they think, oh, I'm gonna own this one, you know. This is mine, you know. This is mine. This is my cat, my girl, you know. I think that's not, for me, it's not a good attitude. It's a very expensive attitude. The reason why it's expensive is not because of the money, it's because of the commitment, you know. But actually, you think about it, right? Which is more compassionate, right? Getting one cat and then feeding it, living with it, you know, or coming by here and you see these cats here that are, you know, wild cats, and feeding them, you know. It's like the reason why that you'd have a cat at the pet store is because they bred the cat for you, right? Here the cat's already here, right? They're going to be hungry. I can just go buy some cat food, walk around, give them a little food, you know. That's that's how I basically, what do you call that? Like I have needs, right? You have needs. You have needs for love. You have need for friendship. You have need, you know what I mean? You have need for caring about things, right? And I find like things that I can do where I can care about things and do things without having to sacrifice and a lot of commitment and things that I don't want to do. I think a lot of people, they think there's only one way to live. That's basically like the hard way, make the commitment, you know? But it's not really true, you know? There's a ton of stuff, there's a ton of flexible stuff that you can do that you satisfy those kind of desires and needs. I don't think ignoring your needs or desires is good. I don't think that really helps you. I don't think that that's a long-term solution, right? Oh, by the way, if you don't know, these are the guards, right? So we got the two guards here, and one is a female, one is a male, and usually the male has the round ball there. Yeah, that's usually the male. So if you see under his paw here, it's a round ball. So that's probably the male. So just think of males have balls, right? And then there's something else there. Let's see, what is that? I don't know what it is, like a leg or something? I don't know. Doesn't seem like there's really much there. It's a little ball. I guess that's usually the female. There's always a female and a male. Yeah, because there's a baby right there. Yeah. So we got the mother on this side, and these are the two guards for the little temple thing, right? So yeah, so you know, you find what you want, man. You can have anything you want. You can live anywhere you want. You can have any life you want. And as a guy who wants to go his own way, like I prefer physically going my own way. You know what I'm saying? Like really going my own way. I'm gonna show you one last thing in this video. Check this out. This is amazing. This is a gym in the park. Now all these guys are working out. There's no roof. They're working out outside. They're cool guys because I come out here and work out once in a while. And it's got a good gym and all kinds of weights. And you can come here and have a good workout. If you lift heavy, it just takes a little time, but you can see the guys. There's some guys in good shape. And then check out this bench press here. You got see the tires there. You got the truck tires, right? Pretty cool. Guess how much this gym costs to work out? Guess how much? It's very social, you can tell, right? Everybody's talking, everybody's friendly. I worked out here a couple times and I tell you, these guys are super friendly. I couldn't believe how friendly they were actually. Guess how much it costs to work out here? 20 baht. No, 20 baht is, it's about 55 cents. So you can work out at this gym here in the middle of the park, okay, with a bunch of dudes, which is fucking awesome. Because I tell you something, I fucking hate gyms where, this is my little pet peeve, I'll go on a little rampage on this one. In the 70s, gyms basically were invented. Arnold Schwarzenegger, that period, right? Guys invented gyms. There's no doubt about it. Guys played squash, guys lifted weights. There was no gyms. Women had no gyms, zero. They all were started by men. Men lifted weights, and I started lifting weights when I was in 6th grade. So that was, let's see, 77, 78, 76, 1976. I started lifting weights. And I remember it was only dudes. There was no girls. You know, whenever I found a gym, I had my own weight set at home, but whenever I found a gym, it was just like all guys, right? Really sweaty, you know, serious dudes only kind of situation, right? Then gyms got famous, right? Popular. This is how it is. Guys start everything, and then girls come in and take it over. And now you go to any gym and it's like fucking yoga. And because girls spend guys' money in general, they're going to be the ones spending the most money. So they're the ones who end up kind of running the place, right? Because if you own the gym, you're smart to cater to women. So that's what all the gym owners do, is they fucking cater to women. And so like you see all these gyms with like a bunch of women basically doing nothing, right? Just hopping around, jumping around, you know, whereas like dudes take gyms seriously. I go to the fucking gym, I'm serious as a fucking heart attack, right? I'm gonna work out heavy, I'm gonna work out hard. I do yoga, but I don't do that at the gym. That's an extra thing. And I do that very seriously too. But so like I like to be at a gym when it's all dudes, like just being serious. I get tired of these fucking gyms that have too much shit for girls that aren't serious. Because let's face it, a lot of girls are not serious in the gym. They're just like fat people on fucking running machines, you know? To me, that's very demotivating. I don't like that. I'm not into the fat people on the running machine. That kind of gym I try to avoid, you know? And there's less of that overseas because people are just skinnier overseas, you know? North America is like the fattest place in the world. Number 2 is the UK, and Australia is catching up. And the reason why is because shitty fucking processed food, right? Over here, you don't have so much of that challenge because there's so much fresh food. There's so much homemade food, you know? So there's so many reasons to live abroad, you know? From sex to money to fun to enjoyment to freedom to food, you know, to music to like less stress to like the things that aren't so much tied to being abroad, but they are for you, is breaking away from your social group, you know? So when you leave your social group, it allows you to make some massive structural changes in your life. And that's what you need when you want to make a better life, right? So moving over here moving abroad gives you a lot of options. I highly recommend it. I don't see how you can be a MGTOW with some fucking bitch of a boss telling you what to do, living in a fucking office that you can't be honest in, with a bunch of mangina fucking pricks. I just don't see, personally, I don't see how that would work. How would you be a MGTOW in that situation? Like, I could see it short term where you're like, you know, like you're like, this is your, you know, you're doing this because you're saving money to do something else, you know. I can do anything short term, right? That's different. But like long term, like just sitting in a mangina, fucked up feminism environment where anything you say could be used against you, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, fuck, no way, man. No fucking way, you know? I could not do that long term. I wouldn't even want to do it one day, but I mean, you know, if I had to, I'd do it short term because I'm a realistic guy, and if I need to make money, I'm gonna go fucking do it. And then I'm gonna get on the road and get out to where I want to do, going to what I want to do, right? So that's about it for today. Hope that is interesting. You gotta see, you know, at the very least, you gotta see a lot of shit on this video. There was a lot of cool stuff, and this is just, I'm just walking through Bangkok here. This ain't no special fucking walk. You know, this is like walking through Bangkok. I could do 100 of these in many, many different ways, showing you interesting things and different things every time. But I don't get across town. I don't get out that much. So, I mean, I can if I have to, but I prefer to kind of manage my time, not spend a lot of time in traffic and moving around. So this was just a walk, and you know, the world's a big place, guys. It's an awesome, awesome place. And even wherever you are, you know, I'm gonna end on this last thing, and that's gratitude. You know, I'm fucking gratitude. I'm grateful for this beautiful world, man. Like I was saying, I look up in the stars. You know, I look at the fucking ocean. I look at the lake here, the pond. I look at the animals. You know, I listen to the sounds. You know, I really enjoy it. You know, a lot of like, I talked about postmodernists. They have no gratitude, and it really got me thinking. I'm grateful for all the antibiotics, all the guys who worked their ass off to make my life good. I fucking am grateful, and that gratitude makes me happy. Because you know why? There's the main reason is because it's true. Those fucking guys did work their ass off for me. And my showing gratitude reflects in my own mind as being the right thing to do. Because I'm like, yeah, I should be grateful, like not some selfish prick, right? Like, yeah, man, thank you. Thanks, Galileo. You know, thanks, Newton. You know, thanks the guy who invented plastic. You know, plastic gets a bad name. Fuck, use plastic for everything. Plastic fucking water bottles and plastic bags, you know. Plastic fucking makes life better, you know. And I'm grateful for plastic, man. I'm grateful for fucking tires and rubber. For the dude that made rubber. Some fucking guy was eaten by a snake in Malaysia. Like a year ago, because he was collecting rubber from the trees and he fell asleep. And then they found him. They actually got eaten by a snake. They cut the snake open. He was inside. So, you know, I'm grateful for these guys that, you know, they probably got eaten by snakes and shit, right? You know, trying to make rubber, right? They got tired. They worked too hard, you know. Shit happens, right? You know, I'm grateful for that. I'm glad those guys did that. I mean, I send up a little gratitude. If people can see down on this planet, and some guy who, you know, invented rubber could see this, that would be fucking awesome, you know. I'm grateful for that guy. And for the guy who discovered, you know, fire, and the guy who discovered gasoline, refinement, steel, everything up to graphene and computers and quantum technology, quantum computing and entanglement and fucking awesome shit like that. Dude. So let's end on some gratitude, man. Today, be grateful for this beautiful world. And whatever you decide to do, if you decide to stay where you are or move along, you know, hit me with any question. I'd love to. Whatever you decide to do is all right. It's all right. You know, before I was stating my opinion, but in the end, man, it's all good. As long as you're alive and you're grateful and you're somewhere, fucking all good. All right, guys, thanks for listening, and thanks for sharing. Thanks for all of the comments. Have a good one.